Welcome back. Here in this video, I will discuss a few rules of statistics that are used in genetic analysis. Statistical rules are generally used to interpret and analyze inheritance patterns, as Mendel did in his experiment. Here are the key rules that are commonly used in genetics. The probability rule is also used to predict the outcome of a genetic cross. It involves assessing the likelihood of a specific event occurring. That means what is the chance of the occurrence of a particular event, just like predicting the weather. There is a 90% chance of rain. The lowest probability can be 0%, that never occurs, and the highest can be 100%, that always occurs. Probability is calculated by dividing the number of times a particular event occurs by the number of possible outcomes. It can be expressed as a decimal, fraction, or percentage. Let's solve few classic problems. First, we will calculate the chance of getting a tail if a coin is tossed. A coin has two sides, head and tail. So here the possible outcomes are two. Either head or tail can appear. When the coin is tossed, tail appeared. You can't expect that both will appear simultaneously. So here the event is tail. The probability of getting a tail when a coin is tossed is half, or 0.5, or 50%. Now we will calculate the chance of getting a 3 when a die is rolled. Here the possible outcomes are 6 because a die has 6 faces. But when you roll it once, only one event is possible because only one face will appear on the top. For example, here it is 3. The probability of getting a 3 when a die is rolled is 1 by 6, or approximately 0.16. Similarly, the probability of getting 5 is also 1 by 6. Now let's calculate the probability of obtaining the king of hearts from the deck of cards. We know that in a deck there are 52 different cards, and therefore the possible outcomes will be 52. And out of 52 cards, you can draw only one. So here the event is 1, and the probability of getting the king of hearts is 1 by 52, or 0.019. Now if I ask you to estimate the probability of getting any king, whether it's a heart, diamond, spade or club, how will you calculate this? Let's find out. There are 4 cards that are kings, which means 4 events and 52 possible outcomes. The probability of drawing a card and obtaining a king is therefore 4 by 52. Now let's solve one Mendelian genetics problem. If the phenotype of all F2 progeny are as follows, what will be the probability of getting tall and dwarf plants separately in the F2 generation? Here the total possible outcomes are 4 because only 4 combinations are possible. And for the tall event it is 3, and for the dwarf event it is 1. So the probability of tall is 3 by 4 and the probability of dwarf is 1 by 4. Here is another one. The probability of pure tall is 1 by 4. The probability of hybrid tall is 2 by 4 and the probability of pure dwarf is 1 by 4. That's why the ratio of the Mendelian cross appeared as 1:2:1. Now let's move to the next rule. The multiplication rule is used to calculate the probability of 2 or more independent events occurring together. According to this rule, the probabilities of the individual events are multiplied. The key indicator for applying the multiplication rule is the word AND. That means if the word AND is used, you will go for the multiplication rule for sure. What will be the probability of obtaining a 4 on the first roll and again a 4 on the second roll? In this case, you have to find out the probability of each event separately. The probability of obtaining a 4 on the first roll is 1 by 6 and the probability of obtaining a 4 on the second roll is also 1 by 6. Therefore, the probability of rolling 4 2 times is 1 by 6 into 1 by 6 or 1 by 36. The number that comes up on one roll of the die has no influence on the number that comes up on the next roll. So these two events are independent. In genetics, the rule is applied when occurring the inheritance of multiple traits or alleles. Consider a genetic cross involving 2 traits where both parents are heterozygous. The probability of offspring inheriting this genotype from the first parent is half, and the probability of inheriting this genotype from the second parent is also half. So the probability of offspring inheriting both traits together would be half into half, that is 1 by 4. The addition rule is used to calculate the probability of any mutually exclusive events occurring. It states that the probabilities of the events are added together. For example, what will be the probability of getting either a 3 or a 4 in a single roll? The probability of obtaining a 3 is 1 by 6 and the probability of obtaining a 4 is also 1 by 6. Therefore, the probability of rolling either a 3 or 4 is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, that is 1 by 3. Do you understand the difference? When we are predicting the chance of rain on 2 consecutive days, the multiplication rule will apply. But when we try to find out the probability of rain or a sunny day, for today only we will apply the addition rule. The key indicators for applying the addition rule are the words either and or. For the addition rule to be valid, the events whose probability is being calculated must be mutually exclusive, meaning that one event excludes the probability of the other. For example, you cannot throw a single die just once and obtain both a 3 and a 4 because only one side of the die can be on the top. The events are called mutually exclusive, either 3 or 4. These rules of probability provide a foundation of analyzing genetic crosses and predicting the ratios of offspring in inheritance patterns. By applying these rules, you can make prediction and interpret the result of genetic experiments. In genetics, these rules is applied when considering the inheritance of alternative alleles or alternative outcomes of a single event. So that's all for now. If you like this, please press the like button and leave your comments. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and finally, thanks for watching.